And it's great to welcome back to Flow FM. We love chatting to her, Courtney Keil. G'day, Courtney. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing really well. It's so nice to be back on your show.
It is good to be chatting to you. It's always great because you've always got a good song for us to get to hear. And you've got a new song in at the moment. It's called Hummingbird. Now, just before we get to know a bit more about it, should let you know that it's one of the songs that we've added to our playlist as well. So thanks for that.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
I'm sure that the cookies are in the mail and on their way to us right now.
Well, hopefully they make it safely and they don't get eaten on the way mysteriously.
Yeah, well, our postie has been gaining a bit of weight, so that's something we need to maybe think about. But that's another story.
We might need to look into that.
Yeah. It is a great song. Now, just before we talk about it too, now I understand that you're a bit of a rev head.
That's right. You're spot on. I sure am. I've grown up loving motorsport, and my dad's always taken me to the motor show and different racing events, and I even worked in the industry for a while. So I think I'm definitely classified as a rev head.
So which do you like, muscle cars or do you like big exotic supercars? So what's your preference?
It's really tricky because different days I like different ones. You know, I do love the really beautiful, European sports cars, but then nothing beats an old Mustang. So I think it just depends on the day how I'm feeling.
Okay. So what would be say the two cars in your ultimate garage? What would you have in there?
Well, I've always wanted to have a beautiful Porsche 911, or one of their classic cars, like one of their original 356 models, back from the 50s and 60s, which is beautiful. But then at the same time, maybe just a four-wheel drive of sorts. I don't know. I think you need to have an everyday car, but then have a fun car for the weekend.
Oh, I totally agree. I've been telling my wife that for years, and she just gives me a scowling look. So, yeah,
it's a hard one to sell. That you need two cars, but good luck.
I think it's the fun car thing. I think that's where she sort of draws a line. A practical car, yes, because understand that, but the fun side, that's where there seems to be the foot sort of stamps and the hands go on the hips and you get that look. So yeah. You gotta be careful with that one. I don't know how my mother let my dad get a motorbike, but somehow she wore him down. So good luck. Yeah, that happens. Now you even performed the national anthem at round one of the supercars. What was that like?
I did. That was such a fabulous, wonderful opportunity. It was, a bit of a dream come true, considering I do love my motorsport so much. So having that opportunity to get out there, sing the national anthem, felt very patriotic and, quite a special moment to be there at Bathurst.
Is it a nervous thing when, you're singing the national anthem? Is it more nervous than singing one of your songs?
I think so. I was very nervous in the lead up to it, but as the days went on and I got closer and closer and finally got to do a walk-through rehearsal the night before, by the day of the anthem I felt a lot more calm, but there was definitely a lot of nerves there, knowing that there was a lot of people watching and everyone knows the national anthem, so if you mess up the words or something like that, people know.
To me, it's one of those songs that you have to get it right. You cannot get it wrong, so you've got that pressure. But also it's one of those that, how do you try and put your little stamp on it? Do you, or do you just, it's just song by numbers, you just do it and then move on? Can you try and put your little stamp on it? I mean, was that going through your mind as well?
It was. I definitely didn't want to overdo it, in a sense, make it too creative that strays too much from the classic melody of it. But I tried to put a little bit of my own inflection on it, and especially stylistically, since I am more country, I think it probably came across as a little bit more of a country version of the anthem, but I still tried to keep it very classic, because at the end of the day, I felt that people want to hear what they know and hopefully connect to it. And it was, such a wonderful opportunity. And the main thing was that I got the word change right, since they changed it to one and free instead of young and free. So that I was just happy to get it all right.
Well, as long as the crowd reaction was positive as well, so you've done well.
It was great. It was really awesome.
Now, that was at Bathurst, so is there the Revhead side of you thinking that you'd love to go, and have you had the opportunity to have a hot lap around Bathurst?
Oh, I'd love to go around Bathurst. I've been lucky to go for a couple of different hot laps. I went around the Adelaide 500 circuit actually last year, which was amazing.
Wow. Yep.
But haven't been around Bathurst, so that's definitely something high on the dream list of activities.
Yes, I think that would be absolutely amazing. It would scare the bejesus out of me, but I'd love it. I absolutely love it.
Good adrenaline rush, that's for sure.
Absolutely, especially when you're thinking, oh, come on, guys, slow down. When you're going to start braking now, you're going to brake now, and then they do, and then you feel yourself getting thrown around in the car, and then it'd be an amazing experience. Now. Oh. To go from cars, we need to talk about your latest song called Hummingbird, which, as I mentioned to you, we're playing here on Flow. And tell me about the video clip for it, because now, was this done with the Filmery? Because it's kind of got their look about it.
It sure was. The awesome Duncan Toombs heads this project up, and he came up with the concept of head in the clouds, like you're floating in this dream world, because we were talking about what we wanted to, accomplish for this video, and we thought we don't really need too much of a strong storyline because the lyrics kind of tell enough of the story. So we just wanted to make it a feel-good clip and something a bit different to what, I've seen or what we've seen out on, CMT and out on YouTube at the moment, and just go a bit creative.
Was it because it's in the era of COVID, I guess, that it was done that way and you didn't have a cast of thousands involved, or did that had no bearing on it?
It didn't have too much of a bearing this time because, thankfully, when we shot this, it was when all the borders were open, so I was able to go up to Duncan's studio on the New South Wales Central Coast, and we just went with, he had this idea, and it never really was discussed whether we needed extra people or not. We just thought it, go simple and have one person and myself and have the little hummingbird flying around and you just see what we would come up with. But one day I'd definitely love to do a big set with lots of different people, but I think the simple look worked for this one.
It was, in a way, to me, it seemed a little bit old school in the way it was done, but it was done in a really nice, fun way, and I love the way that you were just smiling all the way through it. It made it so infectious to keep watching it.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
It's a good little clip. So now the song's out at the moment, and you've done a couple of little gigs, I understand. Is there more coming up? Are you doing some more shows? What's happening over the next few months for you, Courtney?
Well, I'd love to get back out on stage as much as possible this year, especially after last year's limitations.
Yep.
I've, over the last week or so, been starting to slot in a few more shows, so looking forward to announce those soon and, just get out there as much as possible and hope to be up in Tamworth in January next year as well.
Yeah, so I think everyone's sort of got that down. They want to be at Tamworth next year, and I think you need to book your space now.
Absolutely.
I think it's the only way to organise it. It's going to be one of those things that everyone's looking forward to going to and make sure that they can. And I hope all goes well, that we can all get out there and enjoy seeing it's going to be one of those things. And your songwriting, you were nominated for, or you're in the running for a big award. How did that all go?
Oh, it was such a surprise to be nominated in the International Songwriters Competition, and it was a semi-finalist, which was fabulous. And when I saw the email, it was such a surprise because I don't enter many competitions, and when that came through, it was such a honour and a nice confirmation that hopefully I'm doing something right and following the pathway that I should be going down.
Well, I think so too. It's good. And what about the family? Were you able to sort of go, hey, look at what I've just done, and were they all happy as well?
Oh, everyone was very proud. My parents are absolutely blown away because they've been on the journey and such a big supporter of my music for my entire life, and for as long as I've been pursuing it as a career. So they've always been right behind me, pushing me along to follow my passion. So when those little things do come through, it's a really nice celebration.
Have you thought about writing a song for Eurovision?
Oh, I love Eurovision so much.
So do I.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Oh, I'm the biggest Eurovision fan, and that is on my bucket list of things to do, funnily enough.
So, well, there you go. So I'm putting the challenge to you to write a song for Eurovision representing Australia.
I would love to. It's so funny that you say that because it's one of my biggest dreams is to get to Eurovision. I don't think I've ever told anyone that on air.
You have now. We know. And
I know.
It's good to talk to someone else that loves Eurovision. The folks here at Flow, when I mention Eurovision, their eyes just glaze over and they're looking for the nearest exit. But I've loved it for years, and I love it because I just love that it's a celebration of music. And when you can see, dancing grandmas on the stage next to a thrash metal band, seriously, come on, it's about the music. Let's get involved and enjoy it. And yes, some of their songs and some of the costumes and all that can be a little bit way out there. But that's what makes it so appealing, and that's the fun of Eurovision.
Absolutely. It's so inclusive, and it's just such a nice celebration of music. And, it would be absolutely great to get to one day. But for now, I just host virtual parties. I'm one of those people that I make it a big event when I'm, each year for Eurovision. So I'm the one up at 5 a.m. watching it so that I can vote. I'm dedicated.
Yes, well, do you have the countdown timer on your phone like I do?
Yeah, I think it's about 5 weeks away.
It's getting closer. I shouldn't really be mentioning about the countdown timer that I've got on my phone. But
be proud of it.
Yeah, we love Eurovision. Well, I hope you do write a song for Eurovision, and I'd love to hear it, and I'm sure that many would get behind it too. I think it'd be great for you to do it.
Oh, thank you. Well, fingers crossed. You never know what can happen.
And you'll obviously be watching Eurovision this year. Who do you think might win? Do you think the Aussies got a chance?
Oh, I think, surprisingly, considering we're not exactly part of Europe, we do always end up doing relatively well. So I think there's always a chance that we might come out on top sooner or later. And, it'd just be awesome to see Australia win. But it's too hard to call at this stage. I was listening to the playlist of all the entries only a couple of weeks ago, but I think I need to do a bit more digging to find out which one I think it's going to be. It can come down to so many factors that it's not always, the song that you love the most. It could be something a bit more unique that just everyone happens to love.
Which would you prefer, to write a song for someone else to sing at Eurovision, or write one for you to perform at Eurovision?
Oh, that's tough. I think as the performer in me would say, definitely get to perform at Eurovision. But at the same time, I'll take anything. So if I can get someone else to sing my song, that is just as great.
Well, if you do and you get there on stage, remember, you need to have smoke machines. You need to have some fans, some way out there props. So there's got to be some boxing kangaroo.
Sequins.
Yes, sequins, of course. Yes. It's all there. It's all there.
You've got to have it all.
Exactly. Well, your new single, Courtney, we should get back to it. It's called Hummingbird. It's one we're about to be hearing now. We're loving to hear on Flow. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We could talk more Eurovision, but I could see the eyes of people glazing over. So we'll cut them out of their misery and we'll get them to enjoy this fabulous song of yours. You're a world-class songwriter. I'm sure you're going to be a world-class winning songwriter before too long. So we're looking forward to that. We've got your song here. Thank you so much for spending time with us today on Flow, and if you could please introduce it for us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Courtney Keil, and you are listening to my brand new single, Hummingbird, on Flow FM.
I could be having the worst day imaginable. I can get caught up and let it all ball up and steal my thunder, like some random playlist that's made just to give you the blues. Down at the crossroads, I know the devil won't pull me under. I wanna be up, don't wanna be down, don't wanna be lost, just wanna be found. Don't want the weight of the world on my shoulders. I'm gonna shine bright in the dark. I wanna love with all of my heart. I'm gonna spread it all around till the whole world sounds like a hummingbird. A change in the weather is always inevitable. I know these clouds have been hanging around, but they will blow over. Raindrops are made so the rainbows can show us the light. Look past the weeds and you'll see that there's always a four-leaf clover. I wanna be up, don't wanna be down.